everyone, and welcome to tonight's Solivay National Team Huddle Webinar. My name is Staci Wallace, and it is my honor tonight to take you on a bit of a journey of great news, great reports, and an introduction to some folks who are truly making it happen with Solivay. We are now well over 50,000 people, 50,000 members in Solivay that are utilizing Solivay service, enjoying it, having an incredible participation in this revolution we call Solivay. And so tonight we're very excited to introduce you to some updates, news, reports, people who are making it happen, some top achievers, as well as some training that we believe are going to help you be able to be more effective in your Solivay journey. Again, tonight's topic, you're going to hear about something called push-pull. You might have seen it posted on Facebook, and tonight we're going to dive into that so that you can maximize what's happening in your own Solivay journey. And certainly we want to see us hit that marker of millions of thousandaires that are going to be developed here through the Solivay network. Tonight it is my joy and privilege to introduce to you a gentleman who actually needs no introduction, but he is an incredible pastor, leader, someone who has done great things in Solivay and through Solivay, and we are going to introduce you to Danny and Jillian Chambers. Now, something about Danny is that Danny has done great things in Solivay, but more importantly, Danny has been an incredible leader outside of Solivay and was chosen because of his incredible leadership of leading people, creating revolutions, life change in the lives of others, and we're certainly very excited to know that Danny is a part of the Solivay revolution. I'll never forget the time when Danny and I first connected many years ago and was able to see some great things take place in our lives, especially before the passing of my father. Just Danny is an incredible leader. I'm being told right now that Danny is not online with us. I'm getting a little note here so that we are, I'm getting the stretch symbol on the phone, and so I believe that he is tapping in. And so let me just tell you how great Danny really is. Instead of doing that, I think what I'll do is I will let you guys know that we are going to tonight also have another special guest with us. His name is Robert Savellano. You're going to hear some incredible things from Robert.
I am
here. He has been able to. Oh my goodness, I love it, Danny. I was just going to go ahead and start talking about the blooming of the flowers here pretty soon. Well,
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We're just glad that you're here. And tonight, I know you and Jillian have been crushing it. Here in just a little bit, I'm going to be announcing, some of the rankings of people who've qualified for Hawaii in that. But I don't think it's any news to anyone that you guys have been always up in the top of the leaderboard, leading an incredible tribe of people and just doing an excellent job. And tonight, we have the privilege of hearing from you and telling us, especially for those folks who are listening in for the very first time, what is Solivay? Why are so many people excited? I'd mentioned that we have over 50,000 users now, members of Solivay, and that's record-breaking, actually, in the mobile industry. So we're excited that that is taking place. But, Danny, tell us about Solivay and why are so many people excited?
Can I give a little history here?
I would love it, yeah.
Okay. It was a year ago, August. I was at your brother's house. And we are somewhat like blood brothers, and they were here in Nashville many years ago, and it was a changing tide for his life, and we just happened to be at a strategic moment where our paths crossed, and over the years it just seems like we were at the right place at the right time. And last August, a year ago August, was one of those moments, and it was a shift in his trajectory of his life, and Chantel and Jill and I happened to be there at the right time. And as a pastor in his life, as a kind of a spiritual voice in his life, at one moment, I just said, I feel like as the times are changing for you, I said, this is a state of our nation where there seems to be more economic hopelessness than ever before. And you, Ryan, are such a visionary and such a strategic thinker, but the next season of your life is going to help millions of Americans, and I really genuinely felt that in the core of my heart. And it was 6 weeks later, we were back here in Nashville. Jill and I pastor 3 campuses and have an international online campus. In fact, Jillian right now is in Cambodia. We're very, very deeply involved in rescuing victims from human trafficking. My middle daughter, 19, is there with her along with a team. So, you know, at the core of what I believed Solvay was about helping people. That's why I was so impassioned about it from the very beginning. We left their house there in Medina. 6 weeks later, Ryan called me, and he just said, "I really believe I have the idea, Danny, that you shared." He said, It's not fully formulated," he goes, "but it's something that everyone has, which is a mobile phone." He said, "I know it will go beyond that, but you know, he had a lot of data that I did not have, and I'm a little bit of a geek freak, and I think that's one of the reasons he loved me. And we had fun back in the early 2000s as he lived here in Nashville. And but you know, he said, "I'm flying to Nashville next week," and he said, I want to share this with you." And he said, "I feel like you're supposed to be at the foundation of this because it's about helping people." And as a pastor, that's my job. That's my call of duty. And as he laid that out, and it was so amazing because it had been 8, 9 years earlier, he pulled open a laptop and shared a vision with me of a former company. And I said, "Here we are again." But this time, I saw it at a whole nother level because it uniquely involved what I believe to be the entire planet, as we've seen the last 10 years of technology, how rapidly it's accelerated. 330 million cell phones in America, globally, what's going on right now, and just the common man, uh, what they have access to right now through smart devices exceeds what President Carter had in his administration. And the cost factor is being driven down. And what could be done if we leveraged our influence instead of through traditional marketing, which is rapidly changing. People don't buy into traditional marketing as they did 8, 10, 12 years ago, which was through radio, through print, through television. Today, people go to Google. They see what their friends are saying. They see what Facebook is saying. And that was the power of what I believed would cause this company to be a success. It was driven by relationships. And I'll never forget the early moments of that was so what we call the closed test loop cycle, Staci, and we were there together. And you're my sister from another mister. He's my brother from another mother. And there was just a strategic team of 12 people in a very closed test loop cycle. Jim Ryan and his technological expertise and the team that began to assemble. I was just thoroughly ecstatic about it. I felt like it was. I serve on the board of directors for Joel Osteen and his Champions Network, and we're dealers in hope because there are so many people who are desperate for hope, for being, you know, relieved from economic famine, the pressures and the burdens that rest on so many people. And here we are at election time as well, and it's like, I don't think the Democrats have the answer, the Republicans have the answer. I just believe it's smart people who may have God-breathed ideas. And I know there are people on this call who may feel differently, but I think the acceleration of what is happening at Solvay is just an indication that that this is one of those ideas, and truly, truly honored to be a part of it. And what I did, Staci, you know, again, I couldn't give the time or the bandwidth that you've been able to. You left Tulsa and you were able to pour your heart, soul, everything you had, but I had to continue to, you know, pastor a church and travel and do what I do. But I'm telling you, I did what I did. I believed in this company. I shared it with really not an excessive amount of people. I don't know if Jose Miranda is on this call or not, but he has blown it up, which has just proven to me that if you can just put a strategic amount of time and really look at the right kind of people, who this can help and who this could also create a significant stream of income, could truly change the financial landscape of America just through something that we all have and use, which is a cell phone. And not only that, I mean, the other things that are coming with other industry-related, social commerce, it's all going to be traveling through this thing that we all have, a body part called a cell phone. And so I'm honored to be on this call. It's been a while, Staci, since I've been with you, but I will just pitch back to you. If you want to ask me some questions of what we've done, I'll be glad to answer those.
Yeah, well, why don't you tell us like a little bit about like what is Solivay? What is Solivay offering? I know we've got the screen up there. It says it's a social commerce network that provides a unique income-generating opportunity for its members through nationwide mobile service. But what specifically does Solivay offer that makes it a great value proposition?
Well, let me say for me personally, first off, I'm a Mac maniac. And so when we first stepped into this, I thought, you know, that may be an inherent challenge. And all of my friends and relationships were in the Mac world, and I knew we were going to go to, you know, kind of an Android platform, just because there are more Android devices. But my world was more around the iPhone. But the thing that I did note is that, you know, the average iPhone user was spending between 80 to 150 bucks plus per month. And Ryan, you know, when he inked the deal with T-Mobile as a backbone, it was true that it is the fastest 4G network. I looked at that. It didn't have maybe the largest coverage, but what it did offer for the common man in America, where that there was good coverage, is a $49 price point. And it was legitimate, and there was no extra fees. There was, like, when I remember when I got the first bill, and actually we were in the closed test loop cycle, and so that wasn't happening. But when we actually went to soft launch, and then I got my first bill, it was like $54, $55. I went, this is crazy. This is like, okay, unlimited text, unlimited data, unlimited talk. I went, okay, why would anyone not want to buy into this? And so that ramped up my enthusiasm for people. I started looking at the map. I started looking at the grid where there was strong T-Mobile coverage. Then I also knew that AT&T, they're trying to purchase T-Mobile several years earlier. It didn't work out, and $3 billion AT&T had to pump into T-Mobile. I went, okay, the game is about to change. And I began to see and have some strategic meetings, getting to know some of the corporate people, and John Rittenhouse, you know, of course, who had been a former COO for Walmart, and Sue Noakes and others who were in the know. I got very, very excited. You know, not only that, I was in this church world, but now this marketplace, and that we could lift burdens off of people, especially for men. I don't know how many men are on this call today, but you know, so many. The game has changed for men in America, and to be protectors and providers, and to see jobs gone, and to see the ability for them to provide for their families. I went, wow, this game is really going to change. So that first of all really began to fascinate me and intrigue me, because even in my church, talking to men who were struggling and hurting and felt devalued in that they couldn't provide, and I said, this is just a simple thing, by not only reducing the value of reducing several $100s in cell phone service, but then also this model, not using traditional marketing, but by shared relationships, you can create a secondary stream of income or a primary stream of income based on kind of how you're wired, and if you if you have a strong personality type, or even if you don't. It's, my gosh, who wouldn't want a $49 a month cell phone bill, unlimited this, and this, and then of course the opportunity to share that with others and watch an organization or a network for yourself grow. Again, let me say this. I've shared with a strategic, maybe 20, 30 people And my network is not nearly as large as yours or others, but I'm sitting on like, I think, 4,500 people since September the 21st. This is astronomical growth. And again, if I'm playing too much to the biblical side, please forgive me, but there's a scripture that says God will hasten to perform his word, and if there is ever a hastening to perform the word, it's happening right now.
That's awesome. Well, Danny, we know that you are having tremendous success, and we're very grateful to have your leadership, a part of Solivay, and to be leading such an incredible tribe of people. I know you've got some incredible leaders there in your network. And so for those of you who are listening tonight, and this is your first time to hear about Solivay, every week we just take a minute at the beginning of this team huddle to just let you hear from a leader and why they're excited and what their connection is with Solivay and why now is their time to do something special with Solivay. Certainly moving into the future of Solivay, we've got more than mobile service in our scope. We've got areas of commerce that we just believe in natural behaviors. You know, we don't want to see people have to buy something that they wouldn't normally buy, lotions, potions, pills, some kind of widget, that it just in order to create a compensation model. Instead, we want to be able to drive down commerce of the things you spend on every single day. And you'll see as we move forward, whether it's cable or financial services or special goods and services, energy, there's areas that we're looking into right now with the future of Solivay to make sure that the value proposition that we have continues forward. And imagine when we move social commerce model, where you actually use that little purple pay card that everybody gets when you become a social member with service and community. You get a little purple pay card, and every couple of weeks, Solivay looks at your network and how many trios or folks that are created in little groups of 3 that are added to your network. They then look at it and determine how much funds actually get put on that pay card of yours. Well, imagine when the day comes and we have the subscriber base and the system in place where we all go out and we just start shopping at our normal stores like at Amazon or Target or Best Buy or Old Navy, Walmart, Albertsons, Safeway. You just do what you already do every single day. And yet to be able to have that into the Solivay network where folks are actually getting compensated and rewarded for that. We really believe that the future of Solivay is about transforming people's lives, and we're starting with that mobile phone. And, you know, I know it's a big term, especially when we have a pastor on who leans towards transformation, which I love, Danny. That word transformation, if we were just about cell phones, we would not be a transformative company. If we were just about SIM cards and activation. But really the picture is bigger. We're not looking to create a billion-dollar company so that the people at the top can just make money. But our vision is to put $1 billion back in the hands of the people, not just to create a couple of millionaires, but to create millions of thousandaires by laying the fruit low enough in our compensation and reward model so that ordinary people can begin to see some extraordinary things happen in their own households. So thank you so much, Danny, for being a part. We really appreciate you and Jillian and the leadership that you bring to the table. Moving forward, let's take a look at what's hot. Now, this week we've had some pretty big changes that have taken place. And, you know, we were cruising along with Solivay and literally cruising down the road in the Solivay tour bus and the IM Solivay tour bus going city to city to city. And then came this outcry of people saying, we like free. And of course we saw what happened out in New Jersey and the East Coast, and we saw a lot of folks going through some incredible challenges with the storm. And then those folks were saying, wait a minute, we're missing an entire week of our final push with the Are You Ready for Free incentive. Can you please extend it? And what I love about Solivay is it's not led by leaders who are rigid and not willing to step away from their initial plan and make adjustments. But this is a company and a team of leaders who are led by compassion and who are led by best decisions and best business practices. And looking at what was happening, many of you heard the announcement last week that the IM tour was brought to a close and postponed. Those future dates will come. You're going to hear more about Solivay's events and how we're going to touch America and all around the world. And I know that some of us leaders are still on the campaign. We're going out there, and I know some are going to Salt Lake City, and some are going to LA, and I'm going to Austin and Dallas, Texas, and Oklahoma, and Las Vegas. And so it's still continuing forward. But what the company did, which I love, is they said, okay, well, let's make matter most. What matters most to the people, let's make matter most to us. And if the people are wanting to take November and drive that free campaign all the way through November, then let's take a look at our plan. And so I'm very excited to say that the I Am Solivay bus is not on the road. Instead, those funds are being redirected so that all of America can take advantage of the Are You Ready for Free incentive, which has now been extended till November 30th. And we're very excited about that. Instead of just small pockets of people, a few thousand here, a few thousand there, we're able to make something available to everyone so that now going through the holidays, you have something incredible to offer. What that Are You Ready for Free incentive looks like is basically for anyone who becomes a new member who enrolls for Solivay Mobile Service by November 30th, they're going to receive their first month of service absolutely free. That's a savings of $49 or more. If they're currently spending, like Danny said, $180 a month, imagine the money just by giving them that first month free that you're saving them. If they bring their own phone, then their SIM card is also free. And what's beautiful about that is if they'll just go and enroll 3 people in their first month, they're going to get their second month free. What's very generous of the company is not only is that available to new members, but anyone that's currently in Solivay as a member. If you'll go this month and enroll 3 new members, then your next month will be free as well. So pretty incredible incentive. New members get their first month free and their SIM card free if they bring their own phone. That means the only thing they would have to pay is the $49 activation fee, which sets them up to get that purple pay card to be activated in our system in order to be able to receive income in the future. And then enroll 3 and yours is free. Enroll 3, November is free. That's for new members who are just coming on. If you enroll 3 people in the month of November, your next month is free. If you're a current member and you enroll 3, then your next month is free as well. So that's very, very exciting, and we're very thankful to Solivay and the corporate team that has decided to make that shift for us. Here's something that neat to know about that is, did you know more mobile phone contracts expire in the months of November and December than any other time of the year? So why is this a great incentive for you right now? Not only is Thanksgiving coming, not only is Christmas coming, not only is it like the party season for people to be gathering with family and friends, but the 2 months, the biggest months of the year when phone contracts are expiring and people are making a decision of where they want to place their mobile allegiance, it is right now. So we encourage you guys, take that and talk to everybody you know about Solivay. So what else is hot? Well, we've also got the Hawaii Reach the Beach Challenge. The winners have been announced. Drum roll, please. Okay, here we go. That was my little beatbox. Okay, Reach the Beach Challenge. These people are going to Hawaii, the Grand Wailea, January 21st to 26th. And I'm going to show you the full list here so that you can begin to identify who won that trip and if your name is on that list. Now you can see there's 4 different winnings. The top creme de la creme is that purple there, 7 days, 6 nights at the Grand Wailea, flights for 2 plus spa package and golf package. And then we've also got a number of other packages there that include the same thing without the deluxe package. And then we have 6 days and 5 nights where folks are, all they have to do is pay for their flights. And then right there in the blue, you see 6 days, 5 nights, flight for 1. And those people are folks who have just come in since September 21. So they have really been hustling these last few weeks. Okay, drum roll, here we go. Everyone there, you can see that is highlighted in a color, have won in one way or another, purple being the grand package, the brown being the secondary package, the yellow being the third package, and then those blue ones, I want y'all to really look at those. Those are the folks who have come on just since September 21, and they have been hauling. I want y'all to look over there. Harold, Carlos, look at Julio Rivera. My goodness gracious, busting it out and getting those Hawaii trips. So let's go to the next slide there. Hopefully you guys were able to see there, looking for your name. I hope you're scanning there, looking for your name, looking for your name. And then we're going to go down, a little further down on the list. We've got some more that are winners there. Just go ahead and take a look at your leaders there who are winning. And we're going to scroll down one more time, and you can see that If you'll look up there on the top, overall network on the left is the people with the largest networks. The middle is the personal network. Those are the folks who everyone they know and everyone you know and everyone they know. So the first 2 degrees is your personal network. And then on the right are people who have how many, now look at this, guys. Harold Sanchez, 37 personal trios. Y'all get that? That's 3 times 37 since September 21. That's pretty amazing. And so you can see that there's been a lot of folks doing great things here, and we're very, very excited. Congratulations to all of our big winners, and certainly we're going to have a great time in Hawaii, and that means that my treadmill is going to have to be pulled back out of the closet before that happens. All right, number 3, Solove Scoop is now posted. Some great things. You're going to see a lot of this. The corporate announcement from Ryan is up in there. I encourage you guys, go to support.solove.com, or another way to access that is just go to solove.com and log in. One of the reasons why I really encourage you to log in is because if you just go to support.solove.com, there is certain threads of information that you can't see and you can't communicate there. But if you go into solove.com and then just go ahead and log in, that's going to take you right into your own support site where you're going to be able to see the scoop. You're going to be able to see hot topics and everything that is available there. Number 4, Solove Overview. We talked about this last week. I just encourage all of you to go to support site in your Solove, my.solove.com, and check out the Solove Overview, where it gives you a really cool, interactive process of learning about Solove. Now tonight you're going to hear one of our special guests is a gentleman that is a dealer, a mobile dealer, that he is having some incredible success. And I kind of have this feeling that we're going to see some of these guys, especially when bulk SIMs come out, that we're going to go, wait a minute, what do these guys got that we don't have? What are these guys doing? How are their numbers crushing it like this? Well, the Solove Overview is going to help equip you to have the knowledge that some of these reps have. In other words, they're being able to provide great, excellent customer support for their own personal clients. Now, many of you know that we have got the best by far. You just watch over the course of the next couple of years how J.D. Powers and Associates is going to start ranking our member support team as the best of the best of the best under the care of Maria Pincheski and her team. Phenomenal. These are the kind of tools that they're putting out right now, ramping us up to become an industry leader in member support. Solove Overview is basically going to give you an overview of the mobile industry, of what Solove's value proposition is, how to activate the phone, how to be able to be trained efficiently in Solove. So all of that in that Solove Overview. Number 5, I'm very excited to announce this. Last week we had Jose Miranda that came and gave us an incredible training, told us about his story, just a phenomenal leader. Starting next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, that's 6 p.m. Central, and that would be 7 p.m. Puerto Rico or Eastern time, and we are going to be doing the same Team Huddle webinar in Spanish every Tuesday night. Jose Miranda is going to be hosting that every week, bringing on various leaders from across the company and organizations, but certainly we want to make sure that this Team Huddle webinar, the information, the training, the highlights, that we now make that available in Spanish so that we're covering both demographics. We've seen such a huge explosion in our Spanish-speaking markets that we want to certainly be able to provide the tools and support. So that's where we're going to start. You're going to see we're going to begin to duplicate all of these calls in Spanish, and that's going to be a great addition. Now, speaking of Espanol, you can also go to your my.solove.com or solove.com, log in, and that will put you into my.solove.com. You can see in there, go into the support, see in your my.solove.com, just click on up in the top, it says Espanol. You're going to see that the company is constantly adding more and more support materials in Spanish for you to be able to connect with your Spanish-speaking connections as well, and more to come on that. So real quickly, before I introduce you to our special guest, I want to tell you about something called the push-pull concept, the power of the push, the reward of the pull. A couple of years ago, actually this month, November, marks the 2-year anniversary of my father's graduation to heaven. And my father was an incredible man that taught my brother and I many, many things as we grew up. He taught us how to be bulldogs. He taught us how to be passionate. He taught us how to believe in the impossible. He taught us how to never give up. I remember I was a basketball player growing up, and I was skinny and scrawny. I was the littlest person on the basketball court, and for the first couple of years, I didn't get much play time. But my dad taught me something. He said, Staci, if you're going to play with the big kids, then you're just going to have to work harder. And if you work harder and you work smarter, eventually you'll have to work less, and it will become a natural skill for you. And he was right. I practiced. If the kids practiced for an hour, I practiced for 2 hours. If coach asked everybody to shoot 25 free throws, I'd shoot 100. I'd come home from school, and, you know, my dad would ask me if I'd done my homework. I'd say yes. He said, did you shoot your free throws? I'd say, well, almost. He said, well, not almost. Almost isn't good enough. I want you to finish. And if you start something, finish it. So I'd go out and I'd shoot my free throws. And he was tough on me. I would be days I would cry because it was just not fair. All the other kids got to just hang out on their bikes, and there I was still shooting my free throws. But one thing he knew is that in order to go where no man has gone, you're going to have to do what other people won't do. And so he taught me and our family the concept of being able to press through normal, not to ever settle for what is normal. Never settle for mediocrity. If other people think it's unfair or it's just too difficult, you know, some people quit at that point. But champions, that's where they realize that is where the pack begins to separate. The pack starts to get real thin the longer you are into the marathon. And the further you go in, you're going to find that people who want it easy, they will drop off. But when you're in a marathon and your goal is not necessarily time, your goal is completion, then you know that quitting is not an option. Well, the push-pull concept is a concept that my father, the last company, many of y'all know that the last company I was with, I was senior vice president of a 22-year-old network marketing company. Prior to that, I had 24 years of experience in the field of being a master distributor and a field leader and having great success. The last company that I was actually in the field of, I actually got to play with my dad. He was a part of my network. And I remember constantly, he was so avid about helping. He would call and I want to see the little people make a win. I want to see them making $500, $1,000 a month. And he taught me a concept called the push-pull concept. Because I'm a bulldog, I get out there, and you guys will see, I'm just constantly talking to people about Solove. And he taught me the power of the push. And he said, Staci, there's a season that you've really got to always know when to push and when to pull. And if you don't know the difference between the push-pull, then you will probably get caught in what we call management mode. And he said, Staci, the world doesn't need more world managers. The world is crying out for world leaders and people worth following. Not people who will get up and give a great speech of here's what you need to do, but people who will stand on the stage and say, here's what I did, now follow. And so he taught me the power of leading by example. And that's really what the push-pull concept is. I want you to think about mountain climbing. And if you were a mountain climber, you know, the idea would be that if you're climbing tandem, or you've got a partner climbing with you, if you see on this picture, the idea is you're going to climb as far and hard as you can, and then you're going to anchor. And when you anchor, you want to make sure you anchor solid. And then you're going to turn around and you're going to reach down and you're going to help bring up or pull up your partner or multiple people. And so the idea is you have a set time of pushing, and then you have a set time of anchoring, solidifying, and then you have a set time of pulling. And I want you guys to think, based on the incentive that we've been given now in November, we've been given an incentive that we can offer literally. There's over 300 million mobile subscribers in the U.S. alone. We are in the 2 months where more mobile contracts expire this month and in December than ever before. So we are going to have an opportunity right now that this month, November and December, you need to be thinking of one thing, and that is push. And if my daddy were here and he were here to coach you, and he would have been a great coach, he would tell you, climb as hard and far as you can when there's an incentive on the table. When the company puts something out on this, this is not the time for you to go create systems and try to figure out what you're going to do with your opt-in lists and you know, try to gather ideas from people. This is when you need to be out laying trios on the table. You need to be talking to everybody you know. You need to take massive action. You need to do everything you possibly can to put as many people into the Solove system in your network as possible. And I realize we got folks from all different networks on this webinar tonight. And my encouragement to you this month, take November and do everything you can do to put as many people personally into the network as possible. And so if you think about that, if you do that and you lead by example, and everyone that you personally brought into the network and everyone they've brought in, if everyone pushed for November, you would have a pretty beautiful December. And my encouragement is, think of it this way. Let's chunk it back just a little bit more. So let's say the big goal, the big, let's just say the untouchable goal is get as many people as you can in the month of November. Now let's solidify that a little bit. I want everybody that's listening to me, I want you to go out, and if you haven't gotten your FAB, your Fast Action Bonus, this month is your month. You have an incredible incentive to go out and complete your 12. Why is that important? Because you want to be able to tell every person that comes in that you got your FAB, that it took you 38 days to get it, but you got it. You need to tell them that you took massive action and got your FAB. Why is that? Because if you just get 12 people, and if you can turn around and then pull, teach, train, help, while you're continuing to enroll other people, show them how to get 12. If you get 12 and you show them how to get 12, you're making over $2,000 a month in trio pay, path pay, and bonuses, and that is good. And that's helping Solove reach its value proposition of helping to create millions of thousandaires. So the month of November is a push month. And I would actually say to you, personally, we have a month, we have a push year that we're pushing into. We're going to push massively. I turn around, you know, Jose Miranda. I pushed hard. I said, Jose, I want to see you number 2 in the company. I believe you can. We need a leader in the Puerto Rican community that can step up to the plate and truly take the phone calls and all that. So what do I need to do to help you? So that was my pull, reaching down. You're going to hear from Robert Savellano, who's in Jose's group. You're going to see that there are people right now that even on these calls, that's the pull time. Every week there's some pull, helping as many people get to where we're at as possible. But never stop pushing. So big encouragement. Number 1, push in the month of November. Number 2, make it your goal to get your FAB. Number 3, in order to get your FAB, you got to start with your first trio. Get your trio and never stop. A trio a week. A trio a week. So even if you've gotten your Fast Action Bonus, my encouragement to you, get another trio this week. And then next week, get another trio. And if you can keep that as a consistent habit every week that you duplicate to your team, you will begin to see massive geometric progression. So the power of the push is that you get to go where other people won't go. The reward of the pull is you take a lot of people there with you. So with that in mind, I am excited to talk to you about tonight's guest speaker because he has been in a major season of push. And what I love about Robert Savellano is he knows how to push despite circumstances. Robert has, it was interesting for me because I've been watching his numbers. I know most people don't know who Robert is, and that's what I love about it. Is he's kind of coming from obscurity. He's like this little secret weapon we got over here in the company. And when we were in New Jersey, you know, leaders that we knew were going to be on the bus, because the people who got on the bus were the top 5 of that area. Well, then here walks Robert, and people are not knowing who he is. Little did they know that the day before that event, he had, I think it was 1,300 people in his network. Yet very quiet, very non-assuming, doesn't tout his own horn. When he got on the bus that next day, he had 1,700 people. And I'm excited to ask him, that was about a week and a half ago. It was right before the storm, the day before the storm, actually. And so between that day and a hurricane, that took him completely out of power. He was without power. His business was greatly affected. But first off, Robert, are you with us on the call?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Robert, first off, welcome. We're very glad
Thank
to
you.
have you. But between that day on the bus when you had 1,700 and today, a hurricane later, no electricity, anybody that says, well, my kids had a football game, or I just don't, those excuses don't count for me, because after a hurricane, what are your numbers today, just a few days after the hurricane?
It's actually a little bit over 3,400 right now.
So from 1,700 to 3,400 in the midst of a hurricane. First off, I want you to know how honored and how excited we are to have you on tonight. But the big question we want to know is, what on earth are you doing that is causing such incredible results for you?
Well, what it is that, I like to help people out. The knowledge I have, I pass it on to my group, to my team. I told them that you're not selling things. You just want to share this, and you want to help people, make money, and at least help people make millions of people make their towns a dance. With this opportunity that Solvay did, is that, it feels good showing what Solvay is, giving them that extra income that they need. And it helped a lot of people. And I talked to a few people, and I told them, look, I might be like 3 legs down, 4 legs down below me, but I'm just a phone call away. And that's what I always tell my people, like, look, if your sponsor cannot help you or doesn't have the answer for you, give me a call. And that's my thing for everybody else, is that, to my team, is that, if my people are all over the U.S. and I tell them, even though he doesn't belong in your leg, let's make a point that everybody helps each other.
Well, and I think what's exciting about that, Robert, is that one of the things that Danny said at the beginning is that we are powered by relationships. And I think it's important for folks to note that it doesn't matter where you are located. I think this is important because you guys are going to hear people on these calls and you're going, oh, I wish I was in their group, or oh, I wish I was in Staci's group. The great thing about it.
Now, guys, I want you to understand something. Talk about super easy. You can see right there where it says Smart Guide.
Let's see what just happened there. Let's just mute that. Sounds like somebody's on Tom McMurran's phone call tonight. One of the things that we are very excited about is the fact that these webinars, things like this, you don't have to bounce around in order to be a part of this great, incredible offering that we've got. You're able to tap in and get the resources that you want and that you need. Interestingly enough, Robert, we've got a lot of folks right now that have been affected out there by the storms. And first off, we're very thankful that you have been spared and that you are obviously back in action. What is something that you would say would help the average person? And one thing I've really appreciated is I've watched you. You've got me on your, I don't know if you know this, but you have me on your email list. And I'm able to watch. You're a smart guy. You don't reinvent the wheel. You take, and I love it, first off, you take all my emails and you reformat them for your team, because you know your team has a certain way of understanding. And you put your own flavor into it. You put your own information into it, but you're not reinventing the wheel. And it seems like that is really working for you. Give us a couple of tips of what people could do right now to improve their ability to connect with their teams, which is going to increase their numbers.
Well, one of the things is that, you want to make sure that, you're always going to be there for them. Like you said, help those people grow, where you want them to be at, And one of my things with the guys is that, most of the time I try to pick up their calls. If I don't, I call them back, And I tell them and I train them how to come up to a perfect stranger, telling them what you should say or what not to say. Don't say too much, just keep it simple. if they like it being shared, shorter videos, and from there, I'll be there to answer any other questions. I've been to other webinars, with my team, doing questions and answers for them, and it helps them a lot that they have a person in their team who's very knowledgeable and very helpful at any time. Even though my numbers may be somewhere up there, but I still make a point that I'll be there for them.
Well, I think that's a big differentiator for you too. And so, you're full of knowledge. You've been in the industry of mobile for quite some time, and so you come to the table with a lot of knowledge about porting, about activation, about iPhones. And what I love that Solivay is doing in order to even the playing field is, for example, the Solivay overview, support.solivay.com. What a lot of folks don't realize is support.solivay.com is set up so that you can learn as much or as little as you want. If you want to truly provide excellent support, you shouldn't be telling everyone, well, just call 1-866-SOLIVAY.
No.
In fact, I try to keep people from calling 866-SOLIVAY. I would rather them, number one, resource themselves through their own support site, support.solivay.com, or by logging into solivay.com and going into their my.solivay.com, or being able to find that within the community of leaders that we've got. We want to empower people. And so, one thing, Robert, that I really hope for folks is that we get more Savellano-ites out there, people who, like you, care enough about their team that they're doing those calls, they're doing those webinars. They don't have to do, and I love the fact that you don't go and do a Team Huddle webinar just because you want to do your own Team Huddle. You tap into what's there, but then you supplement your team with what's not being offered, and only the way that you can do it. Let me ask you a quick question, Robert. I asked you earlier, and of course there are benefits to being a part of your network. You're a smart guy, and you come with some really good answers. So one of the questions that I asked you is something that, a lot of people want to know about is when it comes to porting, you have a way of being able to explain porting to folks. I would love for you to talk a little bit about that tonight. I've got a screen there. I don't know if you can see it, but of the notes that you sent me over, I thought it was so powerful. Successful porting. Tell us, what do you suggest people go through if somebody is wanting to port their number over?
Well, one of the things is that, basic thing is that you want to make sure before you activate your SIM card at Solivay, before the time you enroll anybody, you want to make sure and ask that person, do you want to port your number? So from that time on, you want to enter the number they want to port. So you want to make sure when you receive the SIM card and going to activate.solivay.com, you want to make sure that 100% that you provide the correct information, which is the account number, the PIN number, that is your current provider right now. For example, if you're from AT&T, Verizon, or Simple Mobile, or T-Mobile, you'll want to make sure that everything will match what you provide with Solivay. Because keep in mind that if you're porting a number from a cell phone provider, it can take up to 4 to 24 hours. And if you're porting a landline number, it'll take about 7 to 10 business days. And also what I've learned is that the time you request for the port, you have 14 days before Solivay can cancel that port. So as soon as you get that SIM card, you want to make sure to activate that SIM card so they can request that porting from another carrier to Solivay. That's one of the most important things. That the most important thing is that porting your number to Solivay, make sure that your current phone provider is still activated. See, if your phone you're trying to port is not activated, you won't be able to port that number, because any porting that you want to transfer to another carrier, for example, Solivay, you want to make sure that your number is still active no matter what before porting, because to avoid any delays, any problems, why is my number not, ported yet? What's wrong? Because the PIN number is wrong, or the account number is wrong, or your phone is shut off. So you want to make sure this all these things listed in the screen that you want to make sure that you have everything that you need. Make sure your PIN number is correct, activation, your account number is correct, and make sure your phone is always turned on before so it can be ported to SolarBay.
So in other words, if I am, let's just say I'm a new person, and I've got some great questions coming in here for you, Robert, that folks are wanting me to ask you. Okay, so I come to you, and I tell you, oh, Robert, I just bought this HTC Wildfire, and I want to port my number. What are you going to say to me?
Well, first of all, I want to ask you, what's your carrier?
I'm with AT&T.
Okay, AT&T. Now, I need you to call AT&T to make sure to get your account number and make sure that the PIN number of your account is 100%, that your PIN number and the account number you need to get from your AT&T.
So I need to call AT&T, and I ask them for my account number, and I ask them for my PIN number. Question came up today on another call that I was doing. They said, well, what if you don't have a PIN number? Maria Pinchevsky said, if you call your carrier and say, I need my account number and my PIN number, they will provide that for you. So here's what's great, is what you're doing, Robert, is you're providing additional support and care. I know there's a lot of people that you want to just basically put them into a funnel, right, run them through an internet marketing system, and then bada bing, bada boom, they show up in your network. Good, but not great. Good is you're going to have good results, but great results are going to go the extra mile, and I think that's why Robert is having great results, is he's actually treating every client, every member, like a 10-year value proposition. Because think about it this way. I was on AT&T for 10 years, Robert, before I switched to SolarBay. That is a long-term customer that if you treat me right coming in and I love the service I get, then chances are I'm going to be here for a long time. And certainly I have seen a number of folks get thrown into SolarBay and no one's there for them, so they get caught up in member support challenges, and they think it's SolarBay, and it's not, and it has to do with porting of their number, or they didn't have the right PIN number, or they didn't put their name in, or they couldn't remember their their account number, and suddenly SolarBay gets the rap because all the information wasn't correct.
Yeah, because it's not on SolarBay's part. It's the communication back and forth that, some of these people that by the time they get the SIM card, they think they know their account number or they think they know their PIN number. So that's one of the things why, people get frustrated that they don't have the right information. So
the question is, it seems like a little bit of a lift there. And my thought was, wow, that's a little bit more of a lift than just putting them through the website. But you know what, Robert? It's a long-term customer. It's worth that extra lift. Now, I have Maria Pinchevsky, who is our head of member experience, that is also on the line with us, and she has got an update for us on something here, which I love the fact, Maria, that you are here. The screen says you have 14 days to activate that port, that SIM card, before the port doesn't go through. Maria, can you update us on that?
Hey, Stacy.
Hey, dear. Welcome to the webinar.
You kind of surprised me. Actually, it's, right now we are sending communications out and letting everybody know that it's 30 days before we actually are canceling. And it's not the port. We're actually just going back out and letting you know that, if you're not participating, that you need to participate within 30 days so that we can really put your account into active status. So the 14 days, we encourage everybody, as soon as you get that SIM card, go to activate.solarBay.com and make it happen. So that way all your Trio Pay and everything starts to get live. So it is 30 days, though, and all of our
Watch the way I roll there, Maria. Bada bing, bada boom. It is now 30 days.
But again, I think to Robert's point, though, everybody should be activating as soon as they get it, because you also don't want to pay for 2 different services. So make sure that your service is definitely active, like Robert said, and then you have 30 days to make that transition.
So with regards to the port then, there's not a time limit on when port request is no longer available. How much time do they have to port? I know they have to port on their enrollment.
Yeah, so you're making the decision during the enrollment process. So you're saying, yep, you know what, I actually want to make my port happen, and that's the decision that I'm making. But it doesn't start, the actual port request doesn't go through until you go to activate.solivay.com.
Great. Thank you for whoever just caught that typo. Appreciate that. That would be, it is Solivay, not Solavie. Awesome, Maria. Well, thank you for that, and that's great news. So 30 days to activate before, and it's not that Solivay cancels the port. You just have 30 days to activate, right?
That's correct.
Watch that.
Okay, great.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so Robert, that is something that I know that is a differentiator for you, is that you are walking through and helping people walk through the entire process. Another question that came in right now that folks wanted to know is, when you're talking to a stranger, and you said that you try to keep it as simple as possible, say as little as possible, and get them to see the video. Let's give the folks a couple of examples. They're asking for, give us a couple of examples of how you'd connect with a stranger.
Well, one of the things is that when I come up to a perfect stranger, it's like, hi, quick question. How much are you paying for your cell phone bill? Oh, $80 a month? $80? Okay, great. Well, there's a new company under Team Mobile, which is called Solivay, that is unlimited talk, text, 4G data, which is only $49 a month. Oh, wow. So they respond, oh, wow, that's great. What's the company? Well, it is a prepaid. There's no contract. It's just $49 a month. And while having the plan, you can put an extra money or earn extra money for your pocket. And it's very simple. It's just having your plan. Oh, great. Are you interested? And they said, yes, of course. Okay, can I get your email? And then right there and then, I pull out my phone. I have my the 3 videos ready. What is Solivay's vision? What is Solivay in the compensation video? The 3 videos. I asked them to enter the email. Okay, you'll see I told them, okay, email is sent. They'll say Robert info from Robert. And then I asked them, if you're comfortable with it, can you give me your phone number? And I asked them, when are you going to watch this video? Well, I'm going to watch it tonight. Okay, great. You know what? I'll call you around 10:30 to watch it after you watch the video.
That's awesome, Robert, because that is exactly what's in that massive action plan. Is it's helping people, number one, collect the information. If you're just out there handing out flyers and handing out business cards or posting on people's walls, and all you're doing, basically, you're like a megaphone. You're giving information, but you're not receiving any. Really, we want to be more inbound than that. We want to be able to get folks to be giving us their information so that we can then provide them the quality tools that will help them make an excellent decision to join Solivay. So again, if you're going out there and just broadcasting to people, but you're never getting that email, then you're really not getting that personal invitation to them. Secondly is being able to get them the videos, and whether you're using the outreach manager, which I strongly encourage, or whether you're sending them a direct email with links so that you can just have that real personal connection, that's great as well. No matter how you do it, you want to make sure you get those videos to folks and then follow up. That was the big thing you just said, Robert, is you set a time for follow-up. You didn't just send them something and hope they call you back. And
one of the things also, Staci, is that I tell my people, when you come up to a perfect stranger, I always say, you know what, you're going to expect a lot of no's and chase for the no's, because 10 out of people who will say no, and the way you explain it the right way, maybe 3 or 4 people will say no, and the rest will say yes.
So that goes back to just connecting with more folks. Well, Robert, I know that you are doing that all the time. It's something that you've made a habit with your team, is just telling them to continue to connect with people. I got an opportunity to go to lunch with you and your team when I was up there in New Jersey, and to just see the passion and the love and the sincerity that they have for people. The questions that they were asking was truly, they were heartfelt, and I could tell that they're people who love people. And I know that you and your homeland of the Philippines, you're going to be glad when we end up out there, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'll be the first one to fly out there.
Well, we're very thankful that you are a part of tonight's webinar. You bring great value, and we can pray for continued success for you and your network. So that's awesome. Thank you, Robert. Just another reminder of that massive action plan. To hear more about just what Robert talked about, that process of connecting with people, you can check it out there at the empoweredliving.biz. Just download the PDF. You can download the audio, listen to an example, has little scripts in there that you can listen to as well. How to become a thousandaire in 90 days or less is the primary objective of the massive action plan, so that you can help as many people as possible be making at least $1,000 a month. Okay, your Monday stretch for tonight, the F5 stretch, is becoming a force that is magnetic, that you have such a powerful suck zone that you are magnetically drawing people and those around you into the greatness of what you're doing, so that you leave an imprint that changes the landscape of the lives of people that are around you. Number one, this week, I want to challenge you all to get a trio. In your next 7 days, starting today, Monday to Monday, by the time you get on next week's Monday webinar with us, get a trio. I want you then to go post that in facebook.com/empoweredliving.biz. I'm going to be giving away a free HTC One S. I'm going to make that drawing there around Thanksgiving. And somebody's going to be winning a free phone. And every time you get a trio and you post it in that empoweredliving.biz, that Empowered Living Biz page there on Facebook, that's another entry. So every time I see your name, it has to be your name and the 3 people that are in your trio. So say I got my trio, and then give me your 3 names, and that will be an official entry. And those entries are going to be put into a hat, and we're going to draw out, and somebody's going to win that HTC One S. It doesn't matter whose group you're in. This is for everybody. It's just something I want to see all of you going out there and taking that F5 stretch. Okay, number 3 is keep doing that every week. Get a trio and then get your full FAD, that fast action bonus. Your goal is to get 12 people and teach them to do the same. Help them get 12 people. That's going to be giving them their fast action bonus. They'll get a $650 bump. If they do that in their first 60 days, that'll be incredible for them for Christmas. That'll help pay for some expenses that are coming up, and certainly put them in that pocket of being able to earn over $1,000 a month. If they do 12, they get 12. That'll actually be a little, I think it's around $2,000, a little over $2,000 a month. So make sure that you guys go out every week, get your trio, get your fads, train your team to do the same. Push this month. Take all-out massive action. If you've already gotten a trio, then go for 2 this week. See how many you can get in a week. Push, push, push. And then I'm getting texts here of people that want that HTC One S. Well, guess what? Go get a trio. Get your name in there, and hopefully that will be you who wins. Our call schedule this week and webinar schedule this week, of course, tonight is our weekly Team Huddle webinar. Every week, every Tuesday is going to be What is Solove, 6 p.m. We are working on getting the ideal What is Solove call. And then we'll leave it posted. So until then, tomorrow night, we're going to do it again. You'll be able to hear What is Solove starting next week, Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern is going to be the Team Huddle webinar in Spanish. So we'll have that on the docket for next week, and I'll send out correspondence on that as well. Wednesday, FAQ call with Maria Pinchevsky. That's going to be an exciting call where we get official answers on the top most prevalent questions of the week. And then this Thursday, this is an important training webinar, and I think everyone needs to be on this webinar. You need your teams on this webinar. Is we are going to explain the 40% rule. A lot of questions coming in. We're going to do a full webinar. We're going to have Maria's team involved in that as well, of really giving you the visual so you get it once and for all. We're going to leave that thing posted, and again, looking forward to providing that training on Thursday. Again, everyone, thank you so much for being a part of tonight's webinar. I appreciate Danny Chambers, Maria Pinchevsky, Robert Savellano. I know we've had Jerry Foster, Gary Craig, Nathan Gooden, and a number of other team leaders that have been a part of tonight's webinar. We really are grateful for all of you and the leadership that you are showing for Solove and for the teams that you represent. Remember, everyone, now is the time, this is the place, and you are the ones to start the revolution. My name is Staci Wallace, and I am believing the best for you. Good night, everyone.